Good morning. You guys got your coffee? You guys ready to go? All right. If you're joining us, thank you so much for joining today. We are going to be doing Take Command of Your Sphere of Influence today. So we've got 3 great sessions, and I'm going to go ahead and throw up the banner just so we can take a quick look before we start. And this is our lineup today. I'm going to kick you off with developing a relationship into your tribe. And then Blake is going to come on and teach you about magic as in the follow-up. Brett Bishop is going to come in and teach you how to turn raving fans into deals. And then Anna East is going to finish us off with Take Command in Espanol. So be on the lookout for that. Just so you know what the lineup looks like if this is your first time joining us, what we do is you can see on here, I'm going to be teaching developing relationships from 9 to 9:30. So as we talk about this, I'm going to have a goal of giving you at least 3 things to take away from this class today that you can go implement. So from 9:30 until 10 o'clock, that is my hope, is that you're in your market centers or you're at home or wherever you're at, and you're watching this and you're going to take those 3 things I give to you and you can go implement them in that 30 minutes. All right. So if you need help, our market center tech trainers are out there for you. They're ready to help you with this session. Take that 30 minutes and do it, and then come back at 10 o'clock and learn from Blake and do the same thing all over again. All right. We plan to finish up by around 1 o'clock. And if you have any comments or anything, please feel free to put them in the chat. As the scroll across the bottom says, you're able to go through Facebook or YouTube, and just, if you're logged into that, you can make any comments you want and they'll show up on the screen so that we can go ahead and answer them. All right. So I'm ready to kick you off for today. And again, I'm going to be talking about relationships. My name is Ryan Yarbrough. I'm your Regional Technology Director for South Florida. And what my main goal today is to teach you how to get those relationships into command. And what I'm looking for is a healthy contact. Healthy contacts are the best contacts. I like to equate it to, if you're dating all the people in your database. Okay. The goal is to marry those contacts. So how do we do that? Well, we have to create that relationship first. Make sure we have that healthy relationship before you decide to marry that contact. And in this case, what I mean by marrying that contact is actually doing a deal with them, whether it be a buyer, a seller, or it's investing, however that looks like in your world. Let's get them to that table and get that paper signed. Press hard, right? All right. So the relationship is going to be made up of a few things. And I'm going to flash up here really quickly something we're going to talk about. This is your healthy contact. All right. I'm not going to keep it up here for a long time because I'm going to be actually talking about it and showing you how to do this. But you've got your name, your email, your phone number, your address. Really quickly, you can see we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 80% real quickly just by putting that main information in. So if you have 80%, you got a pretty healthy contact. But who wants to have an 80% relationship, right? So knowing these other things such as lead source, contact tag, date of birth, social account, and not social security. You don't need that, but social account. And then also where they work. That's where they spend most of their time. So having these things in their contact makes a healthy contact. All right. So I'm going to walk you through command and how to get this information in here. And again, if you're not using command, that's perfectly okay. The best CRM is the one that you use. So whatever CRM you're using, this will work in there as well. Just get as much of the information in there. So as I share my screen, if you have any questions before we start, please go ahead and put them in the chat. I want to make sure we are having a conversation around this rather than me just speaking at you. And again, I will give you 3 things at the end of this class that you can go ahead and go into and work through. Let's see, present, share screen. All right, so you can see my screen here, and this is command. And in command, I'm in my contacts section. So in contacts, I'm going to go ahead and hit add contact. Now I'm in my team account. So let me switch to my personal account, as a lot of you agents are working on a personal account. So when I hit this, I'm going to go into full name, and we're going to put a contact in here. And since I've got my partner here helping me in my broadcast, Brett Bishop, I'm going to use him. Brett, would you mind coming on screen and help me with this?
Yes, sir.
So Brett, I know who you are as far as a name. What's the name of your wife?
Amanda Bishop.
And I know that. I just wanted to give him an opportunity to say it. So this is actually a really important area to put him in here.
She prefers to go by Princess, but I guess you can put her in Amanda.
All right, so I've got Amanda Bishop right there. She's not in my contacts, so I can't associate them yet. So what I have to do is I have to add. Now she's in the contacts, and I just have a habit of making sure that I go ahead and type her name in again. There she is. Select them, and now they are linked. Now, what I want you to understand, though, is just because she wasn't in there before and I added her, she's a new contact in my contacts. However, she's not got any information on her. She's probably one of the least healthy contacts I have in my database, other than maybe having Jim the plumber in there, because that's not real, and them having no information. But I do need to go backwards a little bit later and make sure I fill out Amanda's information to get a healthy contact. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. I'm going to show you some ways to do that easily. All right. So we've got Amanda in there. So that's going to link them in a couple of ways. So when I do an opportunity, they'll be combined so that when they go into that opportunity, it suggests Amanda be added because that's his spouse. Also, I'm going to have the ability when I'm looking for somebody later on down the line, if I look down and it says relationships, it'll show Amanda as a relationship in there. So that's very handy to have. I have a bad memory with names specifically. I remember faces, but names I don't remember so well. So when I come in here, I'm looking for somebody, I might remember, oh, what's Brett's wife's name? I'll just go find Brett and it'll show me her name in there. Or what's Brett's cousin? Something like that. Primary email. So we need an email. So I'm going to go in here and brettv@kw.com, right?
Oh, yeah, it's my email. Yes, that's correct.
Guys, don't blow him up unless you want to pay him for real estate services.
I do tech and YouTube coaching too, so feel free to reach out.
All right. So what's the phone number we can reach you at, Brett, for all that?
941-815-1509.
All right. So we've got a good portion of the information we need right there. Lead source. So I'm going to explain this because I don't think you guys use this enough. Lead source, where did this come from? Did I meet Brett at an open house? Did I meet Brett at the grocery store? Did I meet Brett online? How did I meet Brett? Now, if I met Brett from his wife, then I can come into select from contacts and I could choose Amanda. There's Amanda Bishop. So if Brett's wife introduced me to Brett, then I would put her as the lead source. Same thing if you're doing referrals and you met somebody at Family Reunion or Mega Camp. By the way, Mega Camp is coming up, so you guys might want to start looking at that as a possible lead source that you could start adding. So you might want to start reaching out to people now to set up appointments with them at Mega Camp. So if that's the case and they send you referrals, then when you get those referrals, you select from that contact, not just from the list. So if I go back into here and list, I've got all these different resources that I can go through and add to them. And you can create your own lead sources as well. But I'm going to leave this as a select from contact and put Amanda in here. Also, mark as lead. Let's explain mark as lead. Mark as lead means that we're going to mark them as a lead, of course, but what is a lead? Well, in the world of command, it's really whatever you want because command is very customizable. Make it how you want. This is what I'm trained to teach you, though. A lead is a one-way conversation, all right? So if a lead comes in from Facebook or it comes in from Zillow or any of these other ones, that is a lead. You're not talking to them yet. You may have communication going out, but they're not talking back to you. When they respond and you start having a two-way conversation, then it's no longer a lead. They're a contact, all right? If that doesn't work in your world, you don't have to follow that advice. But for anybody who is starting out, it's probably the best advice I can give you as far as how to do that. Just remember, one-way conversation is a lead. As soon as you convert them into an actual conversation, they're a contact. So you just mark that so that you can keep on working on those leads and try and turn them into a contact. Everything should be fun and gamified. So I get competitive and want to get as many of these leads turned into contacts as possible. So I'm not going to mark them as a contact, but I am going to come to tags, okay? Now in tags, This is probably the most important area on here, in my opinion, because this is where I'm going to have a relationship. So I need to get to know Brett a little bit better. So I'm going to call Brett, which I've got him on the phone here right now. We're actually video calling, which is great. So there's this thing called emotional
proximity.
Proximity. Thank you, sir. See, we work together so well. He already knows what I'm thinking. Emotional proximity. And that emotional proximity is the distance between two people when they're communicating. Okay. So in this case, I'm doing face to face with him on video, which is better because I can see him, I can hear him, and I'm using two very strong of our senses. And there's a couple other senses like taste, touch, there's smell, and I'm not using any of those currently right now. So I'm not as close in emotional proximity as I could because I'm not using all my senses. However, if I was in Brett's amazing studio right there, I would be able to give him a high five and touch him or pat him on the back. And I'd be able to probably smell him. He probably smells pretty good right there. And I would not be licking him or anything like that. So I'm not going to use
don't
taste.
taste.
No taste. However, I'm using almost all my senses, right? So that's your emotional proximity right there. We're closer. The reason I bring this up is those things matter when you're doing things like smart plans or if you're trying to communicate, because this is all about relationship. So if you think about it, I'm going back to the whole dating thing. If I was trying to date Brett as a client, then right now, because I can see him, our relationship probably is a little bit higher. If I was on the phone with him, it'd probably be a little bit more distant. All right. If I was texting him, it's probably about nowadays. It seems like texting and calling somebody over the phone is pretty close neck and neck because most people actually answer their text messages more than their phone calls, especially when we get all these healthcare phone calls all the time. We don't want to answer our phones as much, right? But it's business, so we have to answer our phones. And then emails is way far down the line. How many of y'all actually read your emails? Jeez. So keep that in mind as you're doing some of this stuff. Tags, though, I think of this stuff when we're doing tags. It's all about dating those people and knowing as much of this information as you can about them so that you can get into that relationship. So for Brett, I'm going to talk to Brett, such as we are in a video call, and say, Brett, so tell me, what have you been up to lately, Brett?
Just been working a lot, launching a couple of new businesses and still, working in my regular business, have a closing coming up. So that's good.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So I've been busy with that, spending time with the kid, while he's on summer break. So those are valuable, precious moments that I'm very thankful for.
So you can see he just told me two pieces of information. And the first thing my mind's going to when he's talking to me about this is I'm thinking of the acronym FORWARD. So it's family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So in here, I've got KW. I already gave his tag because I already had that in the system. I know he's a Keller Williams agent. If it wasn't that, I could at least put an agent tag or a real estate tag in there. He's got children. That's part of his family. He's also married, which I know. So I'm going to put that in there. So I could put children in, or I could put married with children, which is show I remember as a kid. Whatever it is you want to put in there, you create your tag, but stay consistent in your tag. So here I'll add children. Let's see.
I have the song stuck in my head now, Ryan. Love and
put in here,
marriage.
entrepreneur. What else have you been up to? What is it you and your son like to do?
So he recently got a hoverboard thanks to your daughters. So we've been out riding that a lot. Went to Pop Stroke a couple weeks ago after going to IKEA, and we're getting ready to go on vacation here pretty shortly to North Carolina.
Okay,
because he's going to golf camp.
What is Pop Stroke?
Pop Stroke is Tiger Woods owned. He's one of the partners in it. Fancy mini golf place. There's one in Fort Myers and there's one in Sarasota on University Parkway.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
So in here, I'm putting a bunch of tags. Okay. One of the things I also want to show you is I like to cheat when I'm making my tags. I'm just giving you a little bit of a cheat code here. So there's this thing called Emoji Dictionary. Go to emojidictionary.com I'm going to go in here and I'm going to put, I know your son likes to skate, so I'm going to put in here skate. And try and find it. I know you guys can't see my screen on that part of it, but I will promise you what I'm doing right here is I am just finding an emoji for skating. I'm going to pop it in.
So this is pretty cool.
There's no skateboard emoji. Did you know that?
No, I did not. That's crazy. So this is pretty cool though, Ryan, because what you're about to do, and I don't think a lot of agents realize, is that you can actually have emojis in your custom tags, correct?
Correct. The reason I do that is because if you have a ton of tags, they kind of start blurring together after a while. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find an emoji and I'm just going to copy it and then I'm going to paste it into command. So I got my emoji now that I went and copied. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type in this emoji, which that must be a custom number. Yeah. Let's try that again. There we go. I'm going to kind of keep this generic for a purpose. I don't want my tags to get too specific. And I'm using skating as an example. So I'm going to include skating in here as roller skating, ice skating, skateboarding, stuff like that. It's just something they enjoy. And I'm going to bring another one up here like golf. I could have put a golf emoji in there for it. And again, it just breaks it up. You can kind of quickly glance at it and get it without having to read the entire version of this. But I'll use golf as an example because that's an easy one. Why would I put that in here is because with golf, if I've got a lot of people who are very interested in golf, I can talk to them about golf. Because how many of our clients actually enjoy hearing us talk to them about real estate constantly? It's like, oh, here comes that guy again. He's walking up to me and he's going to start asking me about if I want to buy real estate. Is that right? I mean, that's how some of our people around us probably think. They only think of talking to you about real estate. But do you want to only talk to people about real estate? Some people probably, but I actually have other interests and would like to talk to them and get to know them better. So I try to talk to them about other things. So golf in here, what I can do is I can go to Google and I can set up a Google alert. And if you don't know how to do that, just type into your Google search bar, Google alerts, and it will pop up. And you can create a search based upon golf. And I'm going to use Brett for an example. If I know he and his son like to golf, then I can go in, I can set up a Punta Gorda golfing as an alert. Now it's going to send me an article anytime an article is written about Punta Gorda golfing. So if they just opened Pop Shot and it's brand new, then I probably got a bunch of articles about it coming out. And I could have taken those articles and sent them as a message to all my golfing people, letting them know, hey, I just was reading this article and I thought about you, and send it out. So it's just a way to, again, find more things to talk about with them and stay in communication. So go through here and think of all the other tags that you have for Ford. So it's family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So we've got family. I know he's got children. I put in here that he's married. And then any other occupations, if he has another job, such as he does like YouTube work or he's doing training in market centers, I can put that in there as a tag. Dreams, there's so many things. He already said he's going on vacation. So he likes vacationing, which most people do. However, that's something he's made a priority. So I could put in a tag for vacationing. Whatever it is, that's not just that, because you can see HVAC. There's all these different vendors that you could put in here. Anybody who's with KW, I always have that KW tag that's already created. But anybody who's not with KW, I still put them in as well, because if I've got agents that are co-brokes on the other side, I want to try to just drip on them. They've already got smart plans and stuff in the libraries that you can get, and then you can just drip on them about joining Keller Williams and let it do the heavy lifting for you. And you don't have to be the one constantly reaching out to them. Some of the text messages and emails that come out through here will do a lot of that work for you. but get them in there. And I even like to go as far as knowing what brokers they're with as well. The reason I say that is if I heard something about another brokerage, like I heard that the Remax down the street is closing down, then I may want to go to those agents and just share some information about our office with them. All right, so that's tags. There's a lot of them, and I'm going to be nice to you guys. I actually went ahead and up in this right-hand corner here, there's that QR code if you can see it. If you cannot, then what I'll do is I'll just really quickly throw this up here. That is a QR code for my resources. I've already done a lot of this for you. I'm put some emojis and some tags, put them in a spreadsheet. That spreadsheet you can go ahead and download. And when you download that, you've got my contact information in there. And then it puts a healthy contact into your database for you. So you can see what a healthy contact looks like. And it's going to give you my tags. So if those tags are in there and you upload them, they're automatically in your database from now on, and you can use them on all your other people. So you can take the tags I've already put in there and start using them to tag the rest of the people in your database. Sound good? All right, I'm going to take this down. If you want it, we'll put it back up again later. We're going to move on from tags. I'm going to hit add more information. And we have preferred method of contact. So you've got email, phone number, text, and do not contact. I like using this. I prefer people on my team to use this. I like to know how people like to communicate. Again, that kind of goes back to, it's almost like somebody's love language in here of knowing how they communicate. So if you don't know how somebody likes to communicate, then you could irritate them. There's a lot of people who just will not answer their phone. So if you have nothing on here and you keep on calling them, then they're not going to answer you. But if you put text message down because you know they like to text message, then you're more likely. Like for me, you're more likely to get a hold of me if you text message me than if you try and call me. I will answer my phone if I'm available. Additional email addresses. A lot of us have more than one email address. I've got like 5. So you can put additional email addresses in if you want. Street address. This is important. This is part of your health score. This gives you 20%. So you put your address in there. So Brett, can you give me an address I can put in here?
Yeah, 1951 Tamiami Trail.
Tamiami,
yeah,
Port Charlotte.
Port Charlotte. Yep.
See how I stopped? I didn't continue. That was on purpose. Google. These are coming from Google Maps. Okay, so you're finding the address. Just select it from here. Don't continue to type it out yourself. Okay, that right there gives you Tamiami Trail. It finds it on the map. It places it on the map. And then if this is where he gets his mail, then I need to make sure that I click same as mailing address. So why that's important is because Christmas is coming up in 6 months. Yes, guys, it's in 6 months. It's very close. We are at the end of June. And by the way, shameless plug, we're doing Christmas in July on July 6th. And we're going to have Donnie Brookman come on and talk to us about all the fun stuff going on in Command. But that means Christmas is coming up. So we need to start thinking about, we're going to be sending Christmas cards out, right? So to send Christmas cards out, or even Thanksgiving cards or holiday cards, whatever it is you want to send out, if you click this right here and you have an address in here, then I'm going to be able to create a label. If I don't select this, it's not going to show up. So you need to select same as mailing address so that labels are created. And these 3 dots that sit up in the top right-hand corner of the screen right here, if you click that, it'll give you options to export to labels, okay? You can get them as Avery label. Prints has it set up so you can print it right up. One other caveat to this is Brett's married. So him and his wife cohabitate a house. Do I need to send them both a letter? No, I can send it to his family. So as long as I have this checked right here, they have the same address on both their contacts, which means I need to go to her contact since I added her, and I need to update her contact, and I have to put her address in as well and check the same thing here. But because it knows that they're spouses, it'll merge those 2 together when it creates the label, so you don't send out 2 letters, because sometimes that makes us maybe feel like we don't know what we're doing, right? We're sending 2 letters to the same house, and it just becomes less personal that way. All right, so that's how you work that part of it. And then social profiles. So social profiles is part of your health score. And some people sometimes don't have it. So a lot of times when I'm teaching this class, I'll say if there's one place that I probably sometimes don't fill out, it's social profiles. I know a lot of people who just don't go on social media. And I'm not a big social media person myself. I don't like going on there and constantly putting it on there. I do have social media, and I do use it to pretty much post pictures of my kids, but I do not spend a lot of time on there. So some people just don't want to at all. So there's one area I would say if you're not going to have 100% health score, that you wouldn't have it. And most people do have it. So the more information you can get, the better. Put their URL in there, which means up on here when you can't see on my screen because it's cutting it off. But at the very top of your screen, there's a bar that goes across. That's where you type in, like if we're going to command, we type agent.kibbe.com to log into command. So that's your URL. Whereas in Facebook's world, we go to facebook.com and then it's going to be slash and it's going to be a whole bunch of letters and numbers. Sometimes people personalize it. So like mine says Yarborough 14. So it's got that at the end of it. So you copy that and you just paste it right here. And what this does is gives you a quick reference into somebody's life by going right to their Facebook page or their Instagram or their MySpace or their Vine or whatever it is. And you go back and yeah, MySpace, man. I love it. I'm sure you still got
ourselves.
So you can see right here if you scroll through it, we've got all these different ones.
You want to plug in YouTube so that it shows the 100% score?
Sure. That'd be good. And we can show off your YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
All right. So where to go? I know it's on here. All right. So we can still go to URL. And what's your...
So it's youtube.com /@ the Realty Tech Guru.
All right. There we go. So now by having that, it'll give me a quick link to that. So I'm going to leave that like that. I'm going to come to about. Here's a lot of very important information in here. So legal name. What that means is, and sorry, I'm looking at my time. I'm getting really close to my time, so I need to hurry here. What this means in here is if Brett was an LLC, then we could put that in here. If Brett was part of any other of those distinct groups that have to be legally put up there, we could put that up there. If Brett's full name was not Brett, if it was something else, like if it was Michael Brett Bishop, then I could put Michael Brett Bishop in here if that's how it needs to be signed. Description is just how you can describe the person, maybe where you met them, whatever you want to put in here. Birthday, that's important. Know people's birthday. You don't have to have the year, but people like to have their birthday celebrated. So definitely put it in there. Even if they say they don't, they do. Home anniversary. So if I knew if I sold Brett a house, I would put his home anniversary in here. If Brett's my friend, I'm going to put his home anniversary in here, even if I didn't sell him his house, because I'm going to know when the home anniversary is, and I'm going to send them a letter every year letting him know how much equity he's got in his home. I'm going to be that nice to him. I'm going to make sure he knows. If he was the buyer on a listing I had, again, I know when he bought the house, and I'm going to go ahead and put him in here, and I'm going to drip on him because he no longer has a relationship with that buyer's agent because he's already bought a house. He no longer needs their help anymore, right? But I'm going to be the one dripping on him until it's time for him to sell that house. So
yeah, that's a great point, Ryan, because the stats show that most agents, once somebody buys a house, they're not keeping in touch with them. So if you're the one that's staying in front of them, great.
Yeah. With people who are renting, I've had people I've rented. I help them find a property to rent. I don't do that often, but when I do put them in there, if I put that work in for the rental and got like in our area, we get like $50 for doing that. So I didn't make much, but it did give me a lead. It's a long-term lead. So when I put them in there, it's like an internet lead, right? Internet leads are tentatively going to be between 12 to 18 months. Mm-hmm. So if I put that lead in there, now I'm going to keep track of it and I'm going to let them know. So one of the pain points I'm going to put in there is what's their home anniversary, because that's when they rented. So have they purchased, what would be their equity? So I give them a negative equity letter. This is how much money you've lost by renting. So let's get you into a property.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hopefully you get a tip out of that. And then work, okay? So work, if you don't know where somebody spends most of their day, you don't know them very well. Can you imagine if you were dating somebody and you started talking to them about how their day was, and they're like telling you how they've been walking on their feet all day long, their neck hurts, and they've got a headache. And you're like, well, what did you do all day long? Probably not going to be dating them very long, right? Because they're going to be like, I'm a nurse. I'm sitting there helping people all day long, and thanks for not being very nice and remembering that. So knowing where they work and what they do is very, very important. So put that in here. It is part of your health score. Last thing is custom. You have the ability to put custom fields in here. So an example of that is going to be like a pet's name, or I put in child's name and child's birthday. So I don't create contacts for children in here because unless they're old enough to buy a house or getting close to being old enough. But if they're children, I'm going to put them in here. I can create my own custom field. So pet name or pet, like I have that in here. I'll put pets because I haven't created that. I'll create custom field. And then in here, I get to choose what that is. So it says pet. So I'm going to create a drop down. And in the drop down, all I have to do in here is type. So I can type dog, comma, cat, comma, horse, comma, fish, comma, rabbit,
Snake.
snake. Or I could just put reptile. All right. So once I have those in there, then I can go ahead and hit done. And then when I go to pets, I got a drop down now that I can choose from, and I don't have to do that every single time. And that's going to happen on all your contacts going forward because now you've created it. It's already there. Do pet's birthday. I've got that in there. There's a whole bunch of them you can use. All right. And you can either do them as drop downs. You can do them as text fields, whatever you want, but put that in there. And now we have this great feature. And I know I'm running a little bit over on my time, but this is important right here. I'm going to create this. Uh-oh. I'll just put a 1 in here. Your phone number's already in use too. Gosh.
Here, I'll give you a different one so you can commit that contact.
I'll delete this one. So I'll just put 10 right here.
Okay.
All right. So now I've got a 92% health score. All right. That's a really good health score. To me, anything over 90% is really good. That's pretty healthy. So there's a couple things I was missing. I didn't put his work in. So I'm missing 4 there. So if I put his work in, then I would be at 96%, right? And then I need one more thing that I missed in there to get to 100%. But to me, if I can get at least the 90%, I think I'm doing really well, and I consider that a pretty healthy contact. So you can see all this information's here. Look, it's got a neighborhood in here. I didn't even tell it what neighborhood it was, but because I gave it its address, it automatically finds a neighborhood. That does not automatically start a smart plan, though. I have to go ahead and I have to add them to the smart plan. Now, one of the things I really want to give you in this class, because this is part of my takeaways from the class, is filters, okay? Now, if I wanted to go and I've been talking about healthy contacts. I showed you how to make a healthy contact. Now, what I want to do is show you how to find unhealthy contacts so you can go through and fix them. So we have this new filter version. We have had filters before, but this is a little bit new. We've got a lot more filters in here now. So what I'm going to suggest is all those healthy contacts that I just gave you, the points, go through here, such as tags. There's all the tags. We have a button up here that says advanced, and I can stack this and create my own. So I'm going to say where, what field do I want? I want tags, right? So I'm going to say tags. There's tags. And then I can change this to says it's empty. So no tags, none at all. All right. So then I'm going to add another filter, and I'm going to go to birthday. I'll create this is empty. I'm just going to keep on doing this with all the different fields. So I'll do home anniversary, and then I would go through all of the different fields, make up 100, and just stick them all in here. And once I do this and I hit apply, let me make change, just is empty. Once I've done this and I hit apply, now I have a filter that I can go through my entire database, and it'll tell me these are the people that I need to go and fix. So all these people right here, right now, don't have a tag on them. They don't have a birthday, and they don't have a home anniversary. So this is my target to go after. If I would continue down that list, then I would have a very concise list of who I need to be focused on building those contacts out. Now, once you do that, remember, you don't have to do this every single time you come into command. You can come up to here, and you can go to create smart view and just call that unhealthy contacts. And you can save that as a smart view. And then what that'll allow you to do is come in here, and now you can go to your smart views, and you can see unhealthy contacts is right here, and you don't have to filter on that anymore. It's already there for you, and you keep on working on it that way. So that's one. My suggestion, though, is I want you to go through with what I just did using those filters with your market center tech trainers, and I want you to go through and do that. So I'm going to put up on the screen right here. This is the 3 things that I think that based on what I gave you, I just gave you all my tag system. So my goal is for you to go through those tags, and I will put that back up on the screen in a second. Here it is right here. But go through, take my tags, build your own tags, however you want to do it, but focus on your tags. Then go to the filters and use the filters to find missing health score data. Go ahead and create that filter and see how many people you have. Here's a good idea. Let's see if you're in a classroom right now, if you're in one of the market centers, let's have a contest in there and see who's got the least amount of unhealthy contacts. All right. Also, I would do that on a percentage because you could have somebody who's got 5 contacts in there and only one of them's unhealthy. That wouldn't be fair. So 1 out of 5, let's do it on a percentage that way. And then use filters to build smart views for vendors, agents, referral partners, and so on and so on. So if you have a tag on somebody as a vendor, then you can go through and filter and create your list of vendors, because that would be nice to have a smart view of just your vendors, right? That you can quickly get to. You can go even deeper and say just your lawyers, just your yard workers, just your pool people, and just have that specific list if you want. You can have as many smart views as you want. But here's your opportunity to go create them. I hope this helps you to help build better and stronger relationships. The activities you do with these people is really what will distinguish this, though. So I showed you how to make healthy contacts, but if you stay tuned, we're going to have Mr. Blake come up here shortly, and Mr. Blake is going to be teaching you all about making relationships. So the follow-up in those relationships. So everything I just taught you, he's going to add on to it. Our whole show today is going to sequentially build upon what I just taught you, going into Blake, and then Brett's going to even add to that. So please stay tuned. We're about to go ahead and get into our groups or do it by yourself and work on those 3 things I just gave you, okay? And one more time, just so that you've got it, there's really big. There's my QR code. If you want to go ahead and scan that, then you'll be able to get the tags I just gave you. There's some other references in there, such as I've got a picture of the healthy contacts, so you can take that. I've also got in there a checklist of opportunity checklists. So if you want that, you can take that. And that's it.
Ryan, real quick, there was a question. Can you bulk label a lead source? So a bulk ad for a lead source. And that is one of the few things that you can't.
Yes, you cannot do that. So if you needed to bulk label a lead source, maybe that would become a tag. All right. So think of using a tag in that instance. Like, you need to know where that came from, because if you're trying to bulk ad, that means you probably have a lot of leads coming from that area. So try using a tag in that instance. I'm sorry, I don't have a bulk ad of a lead source. You're going to have to do that individually if that's what you want. But if you need to go and use that tag to find those sources really quickly, just throw it as a tag, because you can bulk add and bulk remove tags very easily. So,
or there's ideas.kw.com too, because KWRI does listen to us. So if you have an idea for a feature that you'd like, such as bulk adding a lead source, then you can go to ideas.kw.com, search for it first and see if it's already there, because odds are if it's already there, then it's got more votes than you starting the process all over again.
Absolutely. Good point. So here's add tags, and here's remove tags. And then also we were talking about mailing labels, so I can select specific people and just do the mailing labels right from here. So this bulk tray is really nice to have. And the way you get to that bulk tray is by having multiple contacts selected. All right, and then it opens up. All right, guys, that's the end of my session. I hope you got something out of it today. I want you guys to make sure that you've got at least 201 contacts in your database. And now we've talked about different lead generation forms earlier in this year. We went through online lead generation. We went through open houses, and now we're doing Sphere. Okay. Your Sphere is the cheapest and the best way to get through your database. If you're focusing on online leads, you're probably buying them. If you're doing open houses, there is a cost behind doing some open houses. There's signs, there's the effort of, if you do cookies, there's buying some of that stuff. There's some cost behind that. But in your database, you can pretty much do that right from your phone, and it's easy. You just got to talk to people, and you got to get into a relationship with them. This is the strongest thing. One other thing I have to note, if you have a healthy database, all right, healthy database. Brett, do you know how healthy your database is?
No. I'll tell you from training, mine's a mess. So it's very unhealthy.
So let's pretend that, and you can get your average health score. So if I come into reports right here, and then I go into a database, it'll give you a overall health score. So I'm going to, here's my health score right here. And again, same as him. I'm training a lot, so I got a lot of junk contacts in here. So my health score is at 44.24% for my database. Not the greatest, okay? So you want to get it higher. Now, let me ask you this question. If you were doing your database and you decided, I am going to retire, or I'm getting out of this real estate business, all right? First of all, if you're getting out of real estate business, people will pay you for those contacts, right? You don't just have to give it away.
Legacy's worth leaving.
Yes. Also, if you're retiring, you can sell your business, right? So if you're going to sell your business, would you rather buy a business? If you're the buyer, would you rather buy a business that's got healthy database health score, or would you buy a business that I have to go ahead and do all the work? If I just got a first name, a last name, and a phone number, or an email address, is that going to, one or the other, is that going to be something you want to buy? Possibly, but are you going to pay more for something that's a healthy health score? If you've got a health score around 90%, I'd pay a pretty penny for that. If you had it 44% like I've got, I might give you $1 a contact. So think about it from that perspective. You're building a business, and this is a business, and your database is your data bank. So make sure you have a healthy health score so that you can go ahead and sell this at someday if you want to. And I have seen agents buy businesses from other people. We've got one in our office. It's a big team, and that person is going to retire, so they're going to sell their business to somebody else. And by doing so, that person's inheriting a nice, clean database because they've done the work. All right, I'm going to get off that horse and just tell you I appreciate you all coming on today. Please get with your Market Star Tech trainers. I've only given you about 15 minutes, but I think that'll give you enough to get the basics down to go through and do some filters and have some fun with this. Actually do some of the work, okay? All right. So, Brett, you got some good music for us, right?
Yes, sir.
So remember, this right here is what your goal is to do as you go into this next 15 minutes. Build out your tag system, use filters to find missing health score data, and build smart views. Go have fun, guys.
Drive a good time. break up and you slam the door. I messed up on the bedroom floor. What the hell do we do this for? I push you out but you come back. That attraction, we can't fight that. Oh, keep telling myself that I should let go, but I hold on. And oh, keep telling myself that I should move on, but I don't. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. We got that, 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 we got. Kiss me and the world disappears. Tell me the things that I wanna hear. I just wanna stay right here. You push me out, but I come back. That attraction, we can't fight that. Oh, keep telling myself that I should let go, but I hold on. And oh, keep telling myself that I should move on, but I don't. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for you time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the moves, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the moves, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
Hey everybody, my name is Blake Whitbold, and I'm going to be teaching you the magic of follow-up. And we're going to be using smart plans inside of Command. So I'm going to share my screen. Entire screen. There we go. So we know that when we're working with people, especially in general, when we're making the
Guys, hold on 1 second. Blake, who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. My name is Blake Whitbold. I'm the Market Center Tech Trainer for KW Partners Southwest and KW Miami Lakes. I have been with Keller Williams since 2018, all over the state. I've been a Market Center Tech Trainer since the inception, actually right before Command was released to the public. So
he knows what he's talking about, so that's why you should listen to him.
Yeah. Sorry, I just like to jump right in and get started.
No worries. Well, this is his first time doing it for us. So I just wanted to make sure everybody got to know who you were and appreciate you doing this for us. So take it away.
Perfect. It's my pleasure. So right now I'm on my home screen and I'm going to go into Smart Plans, which is going to be on the left-hand side, this icon here. I'm going to click on that. And I am going to see that I have a list of smart plans in here that I have already created or that I have downloaded already. So what is a smart plan exactly? Those are either automated marketing plans or a drip campaign for you to stay top of mind with your sphere of influence that's already in your database. We know that we need to have at least 36 touches to stay top of mind with any of our contacts in here. And these smart plans are going to help you with that. There are so many different types of things that you can do with these. It is crazy. You can either download some that have already been created, or you can create your own. So I'm going to go into the library. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And I'm going to see if there's any smart plans that could be good for me to use with my sphere. Oh, I've already clicked inside of smart plans. You can see the ones I have already. If I come up to library here, I'll be able to click on that. And I'm going to see multiple smart plans that have already been created by other agents or by KW. So right in here, I can see I have featured smart plans. I have my Keller Williams smart plans here. There's 10 total. And if I click see all, I'll be able to see all of the Keller Williams smart plans. So right now we have a biweekly neighborhood nurture, 8x8, quarterly call plans, so on and so forth. And you can use a lot of the things that you put into your contacts. So to make a healthy contact will make an easier and a better experience with smart plans. So for instance, if I have biweekly neighborhood nurture, that means if I have their address in there, they're going to get an email every 2 weeks about updates within that neighborhood on what's for sale and what's happening with the stats. That's a great thing to have while you are trying to either cultivate a relationship with them for sales or just trying to stay right there at the top of mind with that 36 touch. There is a new contact engagement. So if I am brand new meeting somebody, I'm going to put this on their profile so I can have a cementing that relationship with them. Let's see what else. We have plenty of different things in here. There are 2 or 3 smart plans I highly recommend you putting on here. In fact, that's one of the things that I want you to take away from our session today. I want everybody to be on your database to be put on either a biweekly neighborhood nurture, a monthly neighborhood nurture, or it's a quarterly call plan, a biweekly neighborhood nurture, or a monthly neighborhood nurture. As you can see on the screen, it says one of the 3 things that I want is to add everyone in your database to that quarterly call plan and either a biweekly neighborhood nurture or a monthly neighborhood nurture. These are super important because they add into that 36 touch. So I'm going to click, let's say I need the quarterly call plan. I can click view steps. And I'll see that the steps in here, I have a phone call. If I hover over it, it's going to give me a little notification or a little pop-up that says call contact, first name, contact, last name, and then contact phone number. What that is that it's an action that you're putting in there or an activity. Then it's going to delay 90 days. And then it's going to repeat that smart plan. Let's say, so I want that. I'm going to click add smart plan. I need to name it something. So I'm going to call this my quarterly call plan 25 because I may have downloaded it a couple times. So it's not going to let me download because I already have the smart plan in my library and it can sense that. See, I would also come in here and I'm either going to download this biweekly neighborhood nurture or this monthly neighborhood nurture. I like the biweekly. I like them to remember me at least every 2 weeks, seeing my emails come through just with this alone. So I'll click add the smart plan, rename it, and click download again. But once again, because I have in my database or in my smart plans already, I can't download it once again. So once I have those downloaded, I can go into my smart plans. I'm going to type in, I'm searching for my quarterly call plan. You can see I have 403 contacts on here already. This is my whole database on there. If I want to see what the actual smart plan looks like, I can click this edit button. And I can see it broken down. So this is made by KW. It can't be too customized because it is a lot of activities. It doesn't have text in it. We're going to go over them in just a moment. But here we can see it's make that call, set the delay for 90 days. And then we're going to repeat that smart plan. All right. So we have, going back into the library, if I scroll down past the Keller Williams, we're going to see top rated smart plans. These are created by agents. And you can see on here, there we go. Daylight savings time reminder. This is from 2021, but it can be adjusted for other years. This is a download. It has downloads of 1,633. It's 5 stars. 65 people have rated it. It is 1 step, a duration of 1, and 1 touch. So if I click on view steps, it shows me it sends an email, and that's it. If I want to see more of them on top rated, I can click see all. And we can see all of the top rated smart plans. There's a lot of holiday ones in here. Here's some more current ones. Happy Mother's Day 2023. Here's a new Keller Williams new licensee. So a simple 3-step plan to let the entire database know that you've embarked on your real estate career with Keller Williams. This would be a great one to use, especially if you're a new agent. So I'm going to say add smart plan. It's going to tell me that I need to download this one. Then I also need that quarterly call plan, which I already have. So if I didn't, it would say download, or I could download both of them. I'm going to click download because I just need that new to Keller Williams one. Then if I go back into my smart plans, we'll see my new to KW. I'm going to click the edit button. And we're going to see in here that it has an email that's already been written. And we're going to be making adjustments to that to fit our needs as well. And it delays text messages, more delay, and then a phone call. And then it adds it to a smart plan of quarterly call plan. So let's take a look here. This is the email. And it says, hi, contact first name. So this is a merge field. And merge fields are the secret sauce to making it personalized to your database. This is going to take information from your contact card and put it directly in that email. So it could say, hi, Blake. And then I'm excited to share the news with you and everybody that I have now shifted my career to full-time sales professional at Keller Williams. So we're going to go through this. We're going to edit it to make sure that it fits us as an agent. Otherwise, it could be suited to somebody else and will make you look kind of silly if you send somebody else's information to them instead of yours. So I'm going to look through here to make sure it's correct. Yep, agent first name at the bottom. So it's going to fill in my name. And then it delays the 3 days. I can delay up to 369 days. So I can create a smart plan or find smart plans that are a year long. That's really nice. And then it's going to send a text message. So this is an automated text message, which means it uses Twilio, which is a third-party app, which you can find inside of the marketplace, or you can go into settings to get that Twilio number for yourself and set up a Twilio account. It is about 1 text equals 1 credit for Twilio. And that's going to be used to send out our text messages automatically. So I don't need to remember, oh, I got to send this text message. It's already part of that smart plan. So it's going out there for me. So this is also personalized. It says, hi, contact first name. As I begin my real estate journey, I wanted to make sure you had my contact info saved in your phone. The text number is tied directly to my real estate business, so feel free to save it for any contact card in your phone. It says this because your Twilio number is going to be different than your phone number. You can't use your personal phone number as your Twilio number through command. So you will get a separate number. I currently do use a Twilio number for all of my new agent onboarding. So what they have is my Twilio phone number, which they can call, and that will also be forwarded to me, or they can text, which will still be forwarded to me, but I see it in command, and I use that through the command mobile app. So that for instance, I use smart plans for the new agent onboarding. They can be used for almost anything you want to try to stay in contact and follow up with your people within your database. So we're going to set delay, and then that's phone call. So in this task description, this one has a script in there, and that's a great spot to put scripts inside of that task description. So that way you can just look at it and you can follow along as you're inside of that contact card. And then it connects it automatically to that quarterly call plan. So every quarter, you're going to get a notification that, oh, you need to call this person. Let's see. So I believe we went through using other plans that we found in the library. We're going to say go back and save that. We can see that this is the brand new one that I just downloaded, but I want to create my own. This is going to be one of the next steps that I want you to take away is how to create a simple smart plan. And I'm also going to show you how to personalize it using those merge fields. That's the third thing I want you to take away and be able to do today. create a simple smart plan with a personalization to your contacts. So I'm going to click create, and I'm going to give it a name. And call it take command. Take command, because today is take command 201 plus. So we come in and we see our canvas to create a smart plan. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a simple text message plan. So I'm going to click send a text, and I'm going to have it as an automated text. And then I'm going to start typing in here. I'm going to say this is going to be a follow-up for after having a conversation with my sphere. So I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to personalize. So I'm going to go over to the merge fields over here, which is this button. And I'm going to say, hey, contact first name. It was great talking to you. Let's get together. So give me a call. Give me a call so we can. All right. So with this merge fields, I've personalized it. So automatically going to say, hey, Blake, or hey, Ryan, it was great talking to you. Let's get together soon. Give me a call so we can set something up. I'm now going to add a delay. And let's say I want to delay maybe 2 days. Then I'm going to just do another text message. And let's see. Have you thought about, I'm going to say, do you know anyone buy or sell real estate? We'll just leave it at that. So it's just a simple text message plan. I can keep going. I can add them to a smart plan after this, but for the purposes of the demonstration today, we'll just leave it at this. So I have the plan. I'm going to click save. And now that I've clicked save, I can actually add a trigger event. So that means in this instance, when you add a specific tag to a contact, it's automatically going to put them on this smart plan. Once they're on there, it's going to happen. It's just going to run, and you don't have to worry about it. You just need to make sure that all the follow-up is happening when they do respond to you after that. So I can say create tag, select tag. The category is contacts, because those are the only thing available right now. The trigger event is a contact tag, because that's what we have. And then we're going to select a tag. And I created a tag. Call it take command. So once I have this in there, and I've chosen the trigger, I'll confirm this trigger. Everyone you add to this tag after you save this will be added to the smart plan. So you don't need to go the extra step to add them to the smart plan. You just need to add the tag, and they're automatically on it. So I'll click save. And now it is good to go. Now, if I want to add everyone to my quarterly call plan or a biweekly neighborhood nurture or a monthly neighborhood nurture, my favorite place is to go to contacts. And I'm going to make sure that I can see all of my contacts. So I click on show 1 through, it's defaults 1 through 10. I'm going to switch that show 1 to 500 so I can see my whole database. And I'm going to select all my names here. Then I'm going to go to select bulk action. And then I'm going to come to add to smart plan. It's going to ask me which smart plan do I want to add them to. And let's see, we're going to add them to the quarterly call plan. So I'm going to say, search in here, and then quarterly call plan, and I'll hit select. I do have some errors in here. It says missing phone number, and I would click add to plan anyway. Or I can say don't. It's going to ask me, do I want to start it now? Do I want to start it on the following date? And do I want to stagger it over the next few days? So because it's the quarterly call plan, I don't want all 408 people to be on my to-do list to call them right at this moment. So I'm going to say stagger start over the next few days. And I'm going to say, let's see, I want to do 10. Let's do 10 calls a day. And now every day it'll do 10 calls until it runs out. And then it's going to start the plan over again. Click confirm. And it's your request to start the call has been submitted. So now they'll be added to it, and I'll get them every few days until it is completed. Let's go back into Smart Plans. Let's see. You can have as many Smart Plans as you like. You can see right here I have 54. The ones that we do recommend, though, are the ones that absolutely are going to make your business grow. So Keller Williams has a lot of good ones in here. Like I recommend the biweekly neighborhood nurture, the quarterly call plan, but also if you have their birthdays in the contact card, put them on a birthday plan. It's going to tell you a few days before, send a card out for their birthday. Then about 3 days before, it's going to say send a text message to wish them a happy birthday. And then it's going to tell you to call them on their birthday. So they're getting hit a couple different times or touched a couple different times just in one birthday plan alone. The open house follow-up plan. When you have an open house, add those people into your database. Put them on the open house follow-up plan. It's going to ask me once again, open house follow-up plan, and then download these two. Already did. So I'll click download. Oh, I already have this one. So I go into my open house follow-up plan, put them on there. I can sort through the library here, either by smart plan name, author name, or description. Oops. So let's scroll down here to what's new. These are the newest smart plans that have become published. If you want to create and publish a smart plan, you can go into your smart plans. I can click on the 3 dots right here, and I can click publish to library, and that's going to publish it for everyone to use. So you can absolutely make your plans available to everybody. All right. Are there any questions in the comments? Let's see here. What is the best 36 touch plan you recommend? That's a good question. So I would actually recommend a combination of a couple different things. I created one called My 36 Touch Campaign. I did not make this one. I took this from somebody else on the library. What I do is I create a smart plan. And let's go back into this one. I'll create a fresh smart plan. I will add on, let's see, removing the ones we had in there. I will add to smart plan. It's going to ask me which smart plan I want to use. I'm going to choose that quarterly call plan. I don't want that one. Come on. Where is my quarterly call plan? Quarterly call plan. Then I'm going to add that delay. And then I'm going to add to smart plan. And then I'm going to do my biweekly neighborhood nurture. So automatically, we're doing the biweekly neighborhood nurture. So that's 2 touches per month. So that's 24 plus the quarterly call, which is another 4. That's 28. Sorry, I have so many in here. I have to read through which ones we have here. Oh, there it is. Go back. My biweekly neighborhood nurture. And then I'm going to actually insert activities in here. So we should be having client events as well as part of our touches. So I'm going to put in set delay. We're going to set a delay for, I don't know, it's a client event number 20. And I'm going to put, actually, you know what? No. I don't want this first. I'm going to say they're going to do a phone call. So there's another touch, more phone calls in there. I have found that the best 36 touches are the ones that you create. That's going to be my best answer, with a combination of the biweekly neighborhood nurtures and the quarterly call plan. You do want to have those client events in there as well. Yeah, let's see. What else? That's okay. Now, you guys, if we can put back that slide that shows the top 3 things that I'd like them to take away, we will talk about those. We'll go over those once more. Perfect. So right now, you're going to add everyone in your database to a quarterly call plan and either a biweekly neighborhood nurture or a monthly neighborhood nurture. You're going to create a simple smart plan with a trigger tag. So that was when we created the text messages and we added that trigger tag in there. And then you're going to use merge fields to personalize that smart plan. So that was when we were in those text messages and we went over to the side and clicked that merge field box and chose that first name. Because a personalized message is going to feel a lot better than something that feels generic. People like it when you use their name. So absolutely use their name. So we have a question that says, Mary Josie says, okay, thanks. So nothing already created. There are 36 touches that have been created, but I find that they're very customized to those individuals. You can definitely take those and modify them to work for you. But that's also why I said the best ones are the ones that you create to personalize to yourself. Do you create a smart plan for those that unsubscribe for yourself? So we are not supposed to do that unless you are calling them and or texting them. Because when they click unsubscribe, we're not supposed to keep emailing them or contacting them. So if you decide you want to do a smart plan, I would do a text system or a call smart plan for them. My mouse is wigging out on that. Okay. All right. And that's what I have for you guys today for follow-up Isn't the Magic. Let's go ahead and go into our breakout rooms and do those 3 things that we put up on the screen for you to follow through with today.
We break up and you slam the door. I messed up on the bedroom floor. What the hell do we do this for? You come back, that attraction, we can't fight that. Oh, keep telling myself that I should let go, but I hold on. And oh, keep telling myself that I should move on, but I don't. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. We got that, we got that, we got got that sad love. We got that fun love. We got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. We got that mad love. We got that sad love. We got that fun love. We got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. We got that love. We got that. 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 We got that young love. We got that young love, that young love. We got that young love, that young love. We got that young love, that young love. If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before. Yeah, this is how we feel. We break up and you slam the door. I messed up on the bedroom floor. What the hell do we do this for? I push you out but you come back. That attraction, we can't fight that. Oh, keep telling myself that I should let go, but I hold on. And oh, keep telling myself that I should move on, but I don't. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. We got that, 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 we got that love, we got that, we got that. Kiss me and the world disappears. Tell me the things that I wanna hear. I just wanna stay right here. You push me out, but I come back. That attraction, we can't fight that. Oh, keep telling myself that I should let go, but I hold on. And oh, keep telling myself that I should move on, but I don't. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. We got that love, we got that, we got that, we got would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for you time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby, I got you. 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 I got, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you.
Good morning, Keller Williams. Hey, if we're just meeting for the first time, my name is Brett Bishop. I am a 20-year veteran of the real estate profession, 13 years with Keller Williams. And in that time, I've been in every version of the market center tech role. I am a KWU approved market center trainer, and you can catch me with my fellow MCTT Peter Hopkins every Thursday from 10 to 11 a.m. on a video podcast that we do called MCTTs Unleashed, where we demo stuff for you just like we're doing today. So we're going to have some fun with opportunities. Bet you didn't know that from the sneaky title, turning raving fans into deals, right? So we're going to build off of what Ryan told you about creating your contacts and what Blake told us about smart plans and staying in touch with that database. And when you've stayed in touch with that database and they reach out and they say that they are ready to either look for a home or they're thinking about selling our home, that is the time to create an opportunity. Contrary to how it's typically done, which is, oh, I'm ready to write a contract or I'm ready to write a listing agreement. Now I'm going to jump into opportunities. If you're using that pipeline the way that it's intended, you'll actually be able to predict your income, forecast your income with potential and probable income that is in the pipeline. So that's what we're going to look at today. So let's jump in and get started. All right, let me just pull the screen up here. Okay, so we're looking at command, And I'm going to do a couple of things. We're going to jump into some settings first because we're going to do something called opportunity tags. So most of us are familiar with contact tags, the custom tags and contacts, and we can take something very similar to that, custom tags and opportunities, so that we can track our transactions throughout the year. And then Ryan Yarbrough, our regional tech trainer, he has a great idea for opportunity tags, which allows us to reverse prospect our database. So if I've sold a home that's a 3-2 pool home in a certain city, and now I've got a buyer down the road, say 5 to 7 years later, and they're looking for that type of property, if I have tags like that, I can actually go back to that person, which might be thinking about time to sell now, right? And I can see if they're interested in selling and maybe get both sides of the deal for the buyer that I've got looking for the same thing. So we're going to look at all of this. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm in my dashboard here. I will turn this on so it's a little bit easier to follow. So let me just refresh the screen here real quick. There we go. So now you can follow my cursor. And I'm going to go up here to where I see my name. Okay. And I'm going to go into settings. So once I'm in settings, I'm going to go over to command settings. And I'm going to go to opportunity settings. And then we're going to go to opportunity tags. Now, I love opportunity tags. I use them to track things just like I do in my contacts, right? Ryan showed us how to filter our contacts based on tags and other items in the contact record. So I use opportunity tags much the same way. So I'm going to have, and sometimes they might even be the same, right? So if I'm participating, let's say in 72 sold, or I'm buying leads from that company that shall not be named, if I am spending money on something, I need to inspect what I expect. And so if I am spending that money, I want to know that I'm getting a return on that investment. So my contacts will actually have, say, 72 sold as a custom tag because I want to see that I got that lead that is now a contact. And then if that actually turns into business, I'm actually going to have a contact or a custom tag in opportunities of 72 sold, so that once that becomes a transaction, I can then look at the end of the year and see, or I mean, we don't want to wait till the end of the year to track our numbers, right? So periodically, systematically, probably at least no longer than every quarter, I want to be checking my return on investment for the things I'm spending money on. So if I'm participating in 72 sold, I want to see leads that converted to contacts. So there's my contact tag, right? And then I want to see which of those contacts actually converted to business transactions, opportunities, and then which ones of those actually closed. So I'd have a 72 sold opportunity tag as well. And it allows me to track my business and to inspect what I expect when I'm spending money on lead services and that sort of thing. All right, so another thing that we might have tags for is property type. So you can see here, I have condo, vacant land, single family. I'm going to add one so that you can see how we actually add tags. I'm going to go up here to create new tag. And then I'm just going to put commercial in here. All right, so I want a commercial tag for property type. And I'm going to keep that consistent. We'll go with the darker tag here and then hit create. So now we can see if I search my tags. A lot of times, don't be alarmed when you add something in command. A lot of times it just takes a refresh of the page. I'm not sure in the tags here if it just goes to the bottom of the list. So let's check it. I'm going to hit viewing 1 of 10 here. You can see I got 20 custom tags for my opportunities. And I can just put it on show 25 so I can see all those. And yeah, it's down here at the bottom of the list. There's commercial. So it did show up. All right. So that's how I could create that tag. And then in line with what Ryan was mentioning to us as a tech group, educating us about the reverse prospecting of our database, I could actually create a new tag and we'll say this is a 3, 2, 2. Okay. And then I might even put pool in there. Or now that we have advanced filtering, I could actually do pool as a separate tag and be able to filter like that. I'm going to go ahead and leave it in here just because of the opportunities. I think I kind of want it all together in one. So I'm going to leave that like that. We'll just give it a color here and hit create. And then we can see that I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, pool, home opportunity. And then that, like I said, will allow me to reverse prospect my database if I have a buyer who's looking for something that I've actually sold to a previous buyer who may or may not be ready to sell. But it allows me to then reach out to the database and find out if they have any interest in that. Okay, so that is the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create those custom tags for our opportunities. And next, we're actually going to jump into opportunities, and I'm going to show you a system that makes more sense to me. This is something that I actually learned from my buddy Xavier Muniz. A lot of you may know X. He's probably trained in your market centers before, and he trained in our market center a couple years ago and really showed us how to get intentional about the stages within the phases of opportunities. So just to let you know, the research that was done as Command was being developed, single agents, independent agents, teams of all sizes, they were all polled on how they do business. And the consistent theme was that they all did business in the same phases, which is cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, closed. Okay, so all of those different team sizes, individual agents, they all did business in the same phases. However, in the stages, things look very different. And that's one of the cool things about Command is that once I'm in a phase, so I'm going to jump into the cultivate phase here. Once I'm in a phase, I can actually change, add, subtract the stages that are within each of these phases. Because that was the thing that was different depending on how each of those agents did business, was how they did business within each of those phases. So again, phases were all the same, but the stages and the way they did business within each phase was different. So Command allows us to actually customize that to our business. So you'll see, if you haven't made these changes before, your stages within the cultivate phase are 3. There's watch, nurture, and hot. And for me personally, those names don't mean anything to me. Watch and nurture kind of sounds like the same thing. Hot, I get. It sounds like they're ready to pull the trigger. But watch and nurture, there's really no differentiation in those two for me in the way that I interpret them. So based on what X taught me years ago is that I can rename these stages. So I go to edit stages up here. And this is actually kind of a throwback to old terminology in real estate and the way that we think about our databases. You think about A buyers, B buyers, C buyers, and then D buyers are, and we kind of make fun of it. The D is either dead or never going to do anything. We're tweaking that a little bit, though, because they are going to do something. It's just farther down the road. So what I did was you can go up here to add stage, and you can type in the name of the stage. You can put a probability in. If you know your number so great that you know what that probability is, fantastic. Otherwise, it's a WAS or WAG, which is a wild guess. I'll let you fill in the A later. So, and then the position, we could add that, and then checklist, we could add the item for that. I'm going to close this for now because I've already done that, and I have renamed the stages that were here. So let's just assume that this is watch, which is what you have. Most agents are, if they haven't changed the stages, it's still gonna be watch, nurture, and hot. So I'm gonna hit edit, and then you can see right here, if this was watch, I could just change that name to D, and then we're gonna say 9 to 12 months. And what that means is that this is a contact that I have spoken to and have figured out that they are going to be 9 to 12 months, maybe even more. I could take this 9 to 18, whatever that looks like for you. And in fact, for me, because of the nature of a lot of contacts that have been derived from internet leads, they are typically 12 to 18 months out. So I'm going to change this to 9 to 18 months. All right. And then leave that at a 2% probability. And then we're going to hit save. And now you can see that that changed the name. All right. So my D sellers, I'm actually in the listing pipeline here. This all applies to the buyer pipeline as well, though. It's all exactly the same tweaking and adjustments and mechanics, all that. All right. So I'm going to have D, which is my sellers that are going to be 9 to 18 months from wanting to sell. C sellers, which are 6 to 9 months from wanting to sell. B sellers, 3 to 6 months. A, 0 to 3 months. So these are going to be what previously would have been thought of as hot would actually be my A sellers now, right? And then once I get these in here, I can actually reorder these too. So I can move them around however I want. So don't worry about having to think about the stages and creating them in order. Once you get them all in here the way that you want them, then you can just reorder them like that. All right. So that is that part of it. And hopefully that makes more sense to you. Another thing, I'm not going to dive deep into this. It's something that you can see in another Take Command at some point. We've talked about it in the past. Your market center tech trainers, your regional tech trainer, Ryan, you can catch it on our podcast too. We talk about things like this, but it's actually the checklist within each stage. So I could click on this right here, which allows me to create a checklist for contacts when they're in this stage of the cultivate phase of opportunities. So we could just say set up search on KW site. Right. So maybe that's my first one because this is a long-term nurture. We're just going to let them kind of browse at their own free will. And but then we're still in front of them. And if they're using our site, then they've got our contact information right in front of them and they can reach out to us. So we're staying top of mind. All right. I'm going to hit save on that. And then if I wanted to add this to a client update, I could do that. Now, there might be a question, why would I set up somebody on a search on a KW site if this is in a listing pipeline? Well, if you don't know, most sellers will act as buyers online first because they're keeping an eye on the market. They're trying to see what other properties out there might be similar to theirs and what those market prices are, which kind of helps them through the process of when they're ready to pull the trigger and actually sell their property. All right, so we're going to hit save on that. And then you can see I now have 0 of 1 items up here on the checklist. And that is how we change the stages within the phases of opportunities. All right, so let's head over here. And I just want to throw this slide up because this is something that this is going to be the 3 things that we're going to work on in our breakout. So what I want you to work on when you get done is creating the opportunity tags like we just did for property type, your lead source. So like we talked about, if it's 72 sold, if it's that company that starts with a Z, if it's anything, right? If you're doing Opcity is another big one within the Keller Williams system. If you're doing anything like that, create those tags and your property features like you saw so that you can reverse prospect. I'd like you to edit your opportunity stage names to something that makes sense to you and your business. Doesn't have to be what I showed you. If you're comfortable with the watch, nurture, and hot, and that makes sense to you, then by all means, keep using it. The best names are the ones that are going to make sense to you, and then your stages are great and you're good. All right. And then the big thing here, because I don't think this gets utilized enough, And that is, I want you to practice moving around the property cards between the stages in the nurture phase. And this would go for any phase of the opportunity, but because we're dealing with specifically sphere of influence, we're kind of in a nurture phase. I want you to move those property cards around. Get used to the mechanics of that, how that works, moving it from one to the next as far as stages go. And then watch how it adjusts your probable income. Okay, so we're going to take a look at that next. Just going to check here, see if we have anybody. All right, so let's get into, let's pull this down. All right, let's jump back in and back to command. Okay, now we are going to go back to our pipeline. Okay, and I'm just going to use this one right here, Ben Jerry. Never guess where I came up with that name. Good ice cream, right? All right, so I want you to pay attention to something here. This shows the commission that this deal represents. If you're not familiar with these property cards, this is the name of the opportunity, okay? And in a lot of market centers, mine in particular, our leadership, our office staff likes the opportunity name to start with the address because in most instances, they're not going to have any idea what your customer's name is. And when they need to look for something, especially if they're lining it up to the MLS too, they only have the address to go on. So that's why mine start with the address. All right. And then we can see the contact name, the actual property address for that contact. And then depending on the commission rate that I put in that opportunity when I created it, that gives me the potential right here. This represents what that commission would be. And so I'm going to pop back out here too. So if I hit back up here, this is going to take me out to the opportunities pipelines. All right. And this is what I want us to pay attention to here. So through this pipeline, we've got cultivate, appointment, active, under contract. All right. And then the stages that we saw within each one of those. And over here is the potential income. So all of these deals, and that's, you get a little description down here, total commission from all listing opportunities. All right. And then our probable income, and that's represented here. Adjusted commission based on each stage's probability to close. All right. Now, just want to talk about this for 1 second. And that is the fact that there's a misconception of what this should look like. So a lot of people think that the potential income and the probable income should be close together. However, if those numbers are close together, that means that you are going to be out of business very soon because there is nothing in the pipeline. So really what we want is we want the potential income to be as far away from the probable income as we can, because that means we've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline that we can continue to pursue and bring to closed transactions. So that's what we want. That keeps us from riding that real estate roller coaster, right? It'd be nice to just constantly be going up the beginning of the roller coaster and never stop. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work like that. But if we're using opportunities the way that we need to, the way that we should, the way that they were intended, then we can actually use it to forecast our income between potential income and probable income. Okay, so our probable income, and I'm just going to write this down so I don't forget, is $52,178.50. All right. So I want you to see what happens here. When I jump into the cultivate phase, and then I move Ben Jerry's opportunity from 9 to 18 months, because those months have gone by and I reached out to him because I'm staying in touch with him. He's in my data bank and I'm doing what Blake taught me, and I'm using smart plans to systematically stay in touch with him. He's told me he's getting closer. He's about 6 to 9 months out. So I'm going to grab this right here. Okay. See the hand? I'm going to click my left button and I'm going to move it over to the next stage of 6 to 9 months. All right. This kind of reminds me, and I really feel like this is a total guess, but I really feel like the developers of Command, like this is an homage to the story about Gary Keller and his shoebox of index cards, and that was his first database. That's what this always makes me think of. I love this system. I love visually being able to see how things move so that I'm able to actually see the success. And when I'm being intentional about my customers and really thinking about the opportunity and how they move through the process, I get this great visualization. All right, so we're going to jump back out to the pipeline. And now what we're going to see is that $52,178.50 is now $52,508.50 because I have more probable income based on the percentage of that property card that we had that we moved over. All right, and then I'll jump back in, and we're going to take him from 6 to 9 months over here to 3 to 6 months, and then back out. And now we're going to see that we're at $52,706.50. So you can see that based on the probability, because the probability percentage actually increases as you move it through each stage, you're going to see that your probable income starts to increase because there is a better chance based on the probability percentage that that deal will actually lead to commission dollars in your pocket. So that is how, just to recap here, we're going to jump back and go over the slide of the 3 action items that we're going to work on. All right. So turn raving fans into deals. We saw how to create opportunity tags in settings for property type, lead source, and property features. We saw how to edit opportunity stage names to something that makes sense to you and how you do business. And then we just saw moving property cards between the stages in the nurture phase of opportunities. And then we paid attention to the probable income and saw how that increased as we moved a property card from one stage to the next. Through the life cycle of that transaction, the probability grows and our income grows accordingly. So if there's any questions, please feel free to throw them in the comments. Otherwise, that's a wrap for me. And I want you to take those actionable items, and if you're in your market centers, awesome. We've got market center tech trainers around the region that are facilitating workshops in your market centers. If you're at home or in your own office, hey, maybe you're on vacation and you're tuning in. That'd be great too. Go ahead, jump in, and start working on those actionable items. Ryan's just thrown up his resources. And yeah, you can leave it up, Ryan. I don't care if you covered my face. Most people probably don't want to look at it anyway. But there's Ryan's resources. You can scan that code and get all the resources that are here, the healthy contact list, all that kind of stuff. Ryan's got his custom tags in there too, with the emojis and all that stuff. So great resources there for you. And go have fun in the workshop. And we'll see you in about 30 minutes with our Spanish wrap up.
We break up and you slam the door. I messed up on the bedroom floor. What the hell do we do this for? I push you out but you come back. That attraction, we can't fight that. Oh, keep telling myself that I should let go, but I hold on. And oh, keep telling myself that I should move on, but I don't. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. 'Cause we got that mad love, we got that sad love, we got that fun love, we got that young love, yeah, that dumb love. We got that, we got that, we got that, we got that. keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for you time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the moves, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for you time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the moves, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. The world is going wild when they come for you, and the river's running dry when it all falls through. Don't you worry about a thing, baby, I got you. Yeah, baby, I got you. Work is almost over, summer's getting closer. No time to be sober, sunshine on my shoulders. I'm alive and I'm breathing, living my best life. Love is on my mind and it's making me high. I'm staying in this moment, though it's hard sometimes, but I work it out every once in a while. I feel the love, I feel it growing every day. I feel the love, I feel the love. I hope it never goes away. I feel the love, love, love. Feel the love, love, love. I feel the love. I feel the love. I feel the love. I feel the love. wish I could be strong, survive all on my own, but now I'm running out of hope. I need somebody else to save me from myself, a love too precious to let go. I've been searching for someone for all my life. I keep on wondering where you hide. Nobody knows. I've been waiting for someone to come around, but I keep on wondering where you hide. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. When I was a child, I thought I'll be alright, but futures can be full of lies. Yeah, it's never easy to find what you want, and if you should find it, don't dare to let go. If you hold on tight, promise you'll be alright. I've been searching for someone for all my life. I keep on wondering where you hide. Nobody knows. I've been waiting for someone to come around, but I keep on wondering where you hide. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody. Should I give it up and hope for better days ahead, or should I keep on searching for the one I haven't met? Should I keep on waiting for you, baby? Tell me when. Yeah, baby, tell me when. I've been searching for someone for all my life. I keep on wondering where you hide. Nobody knows. I've been waiting for someone to come around, but I keep on wondering where you hide. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Get up, stretch my legs. Eat some breakfast, milk and eggs. Brush my teeth up, wash my face. Start my day. Wake up, get up, stretch my legs. Eat some breakfast, milk and eggs. Brush my teeth up, wash my face. Throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Drink some water, brush my teeth. Get out of bed and I stretch. Bet that my hair is a mess. Look through my clothes for a fit. Anything I do is drip. Feel like a kid when I'm tick-tocking. I still keep it real as it is. I show my age, I don't switch often. I'm just as a dad as it gets. Try taking naps with my kids talking. I'm guessing this life how it is. And I can't wait for the weekend. Keep jammies on like I'm a kid. Wake up, get up, stretch my legs. Eat some breakfast, milk and eggs. Brush my teeth up, wash my face. Throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Feel good, feel great, can't come plane. Look out my window, see birds and planes. Sun's out, some clouds, it might rain. Siblings on my nerves again. Summertime, go for a swim. Wintertime, go grab a sled. Spring, I might need an umbrella. Fall back in school with my friends. Attitude change like the weather. My mom tell me it never ends. Like clocks, we evolve in a circle. Every 12 months we do it again. Wake up, get up, stretch my legs. Eat some breakfast, milk and eggs. Brush my teeth up, wash my face. Throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, get up, stretch my legs. Eat some breakfast, milk and eggs. Brush my teeth up, wash my face. Throw my clothes on, start my day.
Yeah,
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Anaís y yo soy la MCTT del Doral, Kendall y de la oficina de Luxury localizado en Pinecrest. Hoy vamos a hablar de una sumación de varias cosas que hemos estado hablando durante el día. Inicialmente le quisiera dar las gracias a Ryan, a Blake y a Brett por apoyarnos en dando tanta información a través de commands. Con eso dichos, vamos a empezar. Voy a compartir mi pantalla y inicialmente quisiera informarle que lo que vamos a estar hablando es sobre las 3 cosas que ellos habían realizado. El contacto, el Smart Plan y las oportunidades. Pero me voy a estar enfocando en lo que se le dice en inglés que son los tags. Eso es lo que ustedes van a poder utilizar para maximizar sus ganancias a través de la organización de su sistema. Con eso dicho, vamos a Let's Get Techie. Permítame un momentico. Y ahora ya estamos. Aquí estamos adentro de Commands y adentro de Commands habíamos repasado cómo es que nosotros pudiéramos hacer un contacto. Si de casualidad no supieran cuál de las imágenes fueran, siempre tienen la opción para elegir en la KW. Lo eligen y aquí sale un menú. En ese menú vas a elegir inicialmente el contacto. El contacto es lo primordial de toda la base de datos. ¿Okay? Si de casualidad no supieras hacerlo, siempre se pudieran comunicar conmigo o si no, con uno de los entrenadores que también están localizados en los diferentes centros de mercado a través de su oficina. Con eso dicho, voy a añadir un contacto aquí que se aparece a la mano derecha el botón para elegirlo. Lo elijo y voy a poner una persona ficcional. Lo voy a llamar José Suárez. Si de casualidad hay un agente que se llama José Suárez, perdón, pero lo voy a utilizar su nombre si me lo prestarías. Vamos a poner José Suárez y voy a poner el correo electrónico jsuarez@gmail.com. El número de teléfono es bien importante porque si le vas a estar mandando algún texto o si le vas a estar haciendo una llamada, es importante tenerlo, también el correo electrónico. Lo más que ustedes pudieran poner para cada contacto, mejor es para ustedes. Una cosa que Ryan había comunicado es que cada contacto tiene lo que se le llama en inglés el health score. Eso es lo que califica si ustedes van a tener la oportunidad a base de lo que están poniendo en el contacto para comunicarse directamente con esa persona. ¿Ok? El lead source, eso es a dónde es que ustedes localizaron o conocieron a la persona. Yo lo voy a poner que es un agente de Keller Williams y aquí tengo la oportunidad de añadir el tag, que es lo que me voy a enfocar en el día de hoy. Le voy a poner KW Agents. Y si esto fuera algún tipo de prospecto en el futuro, lo eligiera aquí que fuera en un Mark as Lead. Este es el único lugar a través de Command que pudieras elegirlo. ¿Lo eliges o lo quitas? Es su opción. Si necesitaría añadir más información, pudiera añadirlo, nada más que lo elijo. Y aquí pudiera poner si tiene preferencia el señor Suárez para la comunicación. Yo voy a poner que la preferencia es texto. Si tuviera más información como otro correo electrónico o otro número de teléfono, lo pudiera añadir. La dirección, voy a añadir la dirección de la oficina del Doral. Permíteme un momentico y casualmente ya está disponible, lo añado ahí y si tuviera algún tipo de perfil social lo pudiera incluir también. En este ejemplo no lo voy a incluir, pero seguimos. Si tuviera otro nombre, por ejemplo, si se llamaría Manuel José Suárez, entonces pusiera aquí Manuel José Suárez. Casualmente, como hispano, nosotros tenemos varios nombres que se le pudieran apoyar a través de las generaciones. No es algo que es común, pero sí es común en la hispanidad. Aquí es donde pusieran el nombre legal. Pero si es nada más que va por José Suárez, el contacto sí puede ir abajo del el nombre preferido de él, que es José Suárez. Si hay algún tipo de descripción que quisiera incluir, esta nota es interna, no lo va a ver el contacto ni nadie más. Pudiera poner alguna descripción. Fecha de nacimiento, vamos a decir que nació marzo 2 de 1935. Si tuviera algún tipo de aniversario de casa o de algún tipo de compra, lo pudiera incluir ahí. Y si tuviera algún tipo de familiar que estaba ya asociado en el directorio mío de mis contactos, lo iniciaría ahí. Si conociera dónde es que trabaja, lo pudiera poner ahí. So voy a poner que él es un agente. So vamos a ver si ya lo tengo puesto. Agents y vamos a poner realtor. Perfecto. Ahora, si hay algún tipo de porción que yo quisiera poner como si fuera identificado en una comunidad o en un grupo, lo pudiera añadir aquí. Pero en sí no tengo más nada de que añadir y voy a poner para guardar el contacto. De este contacto yo tengo el 96% adquirido, que tengo una estadística bastante alta para poderme comunicar con él. ¿Por qué? Porque añadí el número de teléfono, el correo electrónico, la dirección, etcétera, ¿verdad? Y una de las cosas más primordiales que estamos hablando es que le habíamos puesto el tag. Este tag lo pudieras utilizar para hacer el listado para las Smart Plans, para unas campañas, hasta para unas oportunidades. En cada categoría utilizarías el mismo o diferente, todo depende de lo que ustedes prefirieran. So, ahora voy a ir para Josué Suárez y lo voy a añadir en un Smart Plan. Fíjense que a la mano izquierda de la pantalla aparecen los contactos que acabamos de poner. A la mano derecha de la pantalla aparecen diferentes opciones que tenemos de disponibilidad. Con eso dicho, voy a elegir el Smart Plan y voy a añadirle a un Smart Plan. Aquí te sale todo el listado de los Smart Plans con cual tiene. Blake, cuando estaba en la línea con nosotros, estaba identificando diferentes formas de actualizar el Smart Plan o añadirle diferentes cosas a través de un Smart Plan. Si quisieras acumular un Smart Plan con el otro, lo pudieras hacer. O si quisieras, por ejemplo, adquirir uno de la biblioteca como para suyo, lo pudieras hacer también. So, yo lo voy a elegir que es vamos a ver, voy a elegir que es Market 36 Touch. So, voy a poner que empieza ahora, confirmar. Aquí me confirma de que ya está actualizado en el sistema. Déjame ver si lo adquirió. Voy a refrescar la página. Y aquí me confirma que ya tiene un Smart Plan puesto desde el momento, ¿verdad? El Smart Plan también me lo va a indicar en el timeline. Cualquier cosa que ustedes hagan a través de su contacto, a través de commands, el timeline le indica la fecha y la hora con cual hicieron ese cambio, para que sepan. Bien, so, seguimos. Ya le pusimos el Smart Plan, se lo pusimos a través de José Suárez, pero vamos a ver si pudiéramos localizar uno a través del tag. So, vamos a ir, a vez de estar aquí en este Smart Plan, lo voy a llevar aquí. Fíjense que tienen dos opciones donde localizar el Smart Plan. So, voy a ir al Smart Plan aquí y vamos a decir que yo quisiera añadir el Smart Plan mismo o cualquiera para un contacto. So, voy a ir a donde dice la fotico del contacto y aquí me salen toda la información de mis contactos a través de la base de datos. Voy a elegir tags y voy a buscar el que yo estoy queriendo, que es KW Agents. Aquí me sale y me está indicando de que yo tengo varios que me salen con KW Agent. ¿Ok? Una sumación, si ven aquí, que son 5. So, a los 5, si quisiera, le pudiera poner este mismo Smart Plan. Lo elijo aquí donde dice Select All y Add to Smart Plan. Puedo elegir que sea ahora o que sea en otra fecha. Ya el de José Suárez lo puse que sea ahora, so voy a poner que sea para otra fecha para enseñarle otro ejemplo. Entonces, pudiera ir a donde dice Start On, que es para que pudiera elegir la fecha. eliges la fecha que quisieras hacer el inicio. Vamos a decir que vamos a empezar para la fecha de mañana y voy a confirmar. Aquí sale confirmación en verde diciendo que ya está adquirido para empezar para la fecha de mañana. Otra cosa que pudiéramos hacer con los tags que Brett había hablado es a través de las oportunidades. ¿Por qué es que las oportunidades fueran ideales para tener los tags? Los tags nos van a decir, por ejemplo, de que si nosotros tenemos una venta que fue indicada para un 3-2 con un doble garaje y una piscina, en el futuro, maybe en unos 5 o 7 años, esa persona quisiera vender esa casa. En ese tiempo puede ser que usted no se recuerde qué tipo de venta era, ¿verdad? Pero el tag le va a dar esa asimilación para decirle, esta persona vendió esta casa y así es como quisiéramos tenerlo. Bueno, con eso dicho, voy a ir a la oportunidad y le voy a enseñar cómo es que pudieran adquirir nuevamente el tag. So, voy a ir aquí donde dice mi nombre y voy a ir a Cultivate. Aquí está uno de los perfiles con cual tengo para las oportunidades y voy a elegir las burbujas para entrar en la cuenta. Aquí nos enseña toda la información que pudiéramos obtener y que Brett nos había enseñado cómo hacer en la oportunidad. So, con eso dicho, para poner un custom tag, tienen la opción de entrar aquí e ir al pincel. En el pincel van a añadirle ese mismo tag, ¿verdad? Y el tag va a estar localizado aquí arribita. So, si quisiera ponerle, por ejemplo, el 3-2, 2 garajes y piscina, entonces lo elijo y ya está. Por siempre eso se va a quedar en ese archivo. Lo guardo y ahora me da la confirmación de que esta casa o esta venta era a través de 3 cuartos, 2 baños, doble garaje y una piscina. Los tags o, como le había mencionado en español, las etiquetas es primordial para hacer cualquier tipo de transacción, si es nuevamente para los listados, si es para hacer una campaña, si es para hacer, para tener estructura a través de su base de datos, la pudieras utilizar. So, con eso dicho, también le quiero informar de una cosa. Ustedes no sé si han tenido la oportunidad de escuchar, por ejemplo, el 201 Plus Club. So, el 201 Plus Club es algo que es una encuesta que hicimos a través de todo Keller Williams. Eso indicó de que las personas que se hicieron la encuesta, si tuvieron 201 contactos y utilizaron el sistema a través de los tags o la etiqueta que son tal e igual, ellos pudieron adquirir en 201 contactos de ese nurture relationship, de esa relación nutrida, $119,000. Con eso dicho, es algo de oportunidad que nosotros tenemos para mantener esa estructura interna. So, ¿qué es lo que yo quisiera hacer para ustedes para que pudieran practicar en el momento? Les sugiriera en el momento ir a su base de datos y actualizar los tags o las etiquetas con cual ustedes tienen en su contacto. Quisiera también que crearan en la oportunidad diferentes etiquetas o tags para que ustedes pudieran identificar esas oportunidades en el futuro. ¿Por qué? Porque es a su beneficio, ¿verdad? Y eso le va a ayudar a ustedes a nutrir las relaciones con los clientes con cual ya tienen adentro de las redes sociales o adentro de su base de datos. Y por último, si fueran tan amables en crear las tags o las etiquetas y utilizarlas para los listados en los Smart Plans. Eso en sí es nuestra proposición para que ustedes pudieran tener la oportunidad de crear una estructura y maximizar lo que ustedes tienen de ganancias a través de commands. So, con eso dicho, lo dejo ahí en el momento. Si tienen alguna pregunta, siéntense libres en comunicarse directamente con nosotros a través de el chat que tenemos en el momento, la conversación. Nosotros estamos aquí siempre para ayudarlos. Ryan?
Yes.
Hey, Ryan. So I was sharing with our team that we're going to have them go ahead and create tags and have them updated both on the contacts as well as the smart plans and the opportunities. So we're going to go ahead and give them these couple of minutes. And also, thank you, by the way. So for everyone that's on here, para todo el mundo que está aquí, lo que él acabó de poner en la pantalla a la mano derecha es lo que se le dice un QR code. So ese QR code le da la información si cogen sus teléfonos y en el teléfono utilizan la cámara le va a poder dar la opción para elegir y leer el QR code. Ahí aparecen los tags que estaba, o las etiquetas, como se dice, que Ryan estaba compartiendo en la primera sesión de nuestra llamada, y también le da la información de todos los datos. So thank you so much, Ryan, for including that as well.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Betsy. So we are here. Estamos aquí para ayudarnos en lo que podamos. Cualquier pregunta, duda que ustedes tengan, por favor, siéntese libre en siempre comunicarse con nosotros. Y finalmente, let's get techy. Take commands. Bueno, los dejo con Ryan. All right.